Yaga yo, I want to make this one quick one. So one thing to remember about these folk is that on occasion, what's going to happen, you're going to be led down a garden path, okay? And then right at the last moment, when you're thinking one way, they got to switch it on you. I think they also call it a bait and switch. So when you know you're dealing with these folk, these people who suffer from this pathology, these narcissists, these energy vampires, psychopaths, and sociopaths as well, they have a way of leading you down the garden path. This is another thing that you need to look out for on your healing journey. There was one time when I was invited to this to a company that makes software for I make music. Okay, so they invited me down to test this new hardware. In fact, it was a hardware standout box thing. And when I was the first one there. I just came back from work. I said, oh, can I park my van over here? They were like, yeah, you could park your van there. So I parked my van there, and then they were getting to know me. Oh, how long have you been using this software? Or what do you know on the software? Are you making stuff at the moment? How's everything going? Small talk, and everything was fine. And then because I was there first, the guy that was teaching, it was another guy, the manager, the guy that was the educator, and a administrator. The educator was like, let me just show you how it works. Maybe because you're here early, you can have a bit more playtime on this piece of hardware. So I'm like, fine. So he showed me some stuff. I start working with the thing. Yeah, it was a bit fuddy-duddy the way it worked. It wasn't a very smooth workflow. As I'm playing around with it, he's got the camera pointed down on my fingers. So the camera's filming my fingers. That's one. So I'm playing around with it. Everything's fine. Then these other artists show up, and then we have like a proper introduction. We all meet each other. He goes through the box with everybody. We all individually take turns with it. They're taking photographs of us. I'm stood next to this guy who's like really big in the industry in this particular area that I used to operate in, and they're taking photos of us. He's playing with it. I'm now working with him. We're trying to get a groove going. And everything was completely fine. Okay. Now, because I'd got there first, I felt like I had enough playtime with the equipment, and I was like, I had to leave. I had my dog waiting for me at home. I just finished work, so I was tired. So I wanted to get some supper down me. So I wanted to leave. So this is not a big deal, they're not paying us. They said they'll upgrade our software, but we weren't getting anything much from it. It was more of them to get some feedback about this new piece of hardware before it came to market. So as I'm leaving, I shake everyone's hand. There was, I think, 3 artists that came up other than myself. And yeah, 3 artists that came up. The administrator, which was a lady, the manager, and then I go to shake the educator's hand. Now, as I go to shake his hand, this man gives me the strongest handshake. Like, when you go and meet someone usually, and you have like a nice firm handshake, but most of the time when you meet people don't do handshakes no more. It's pretty floppy. There's nothing in it. So this guy, the educator guy, gives me a proper firm. He really squeezed my hand, and it was so demonic in terms of like he was trying to impress, but he did it with a smile, and that's what these people do. They all like making friends with you, make you drop your guard, and then out of nowhere, kabam, they hit you with a sucker punch. And it's what I found so cheesy about this guy is that he had like the nicest nails. I'm not saying that I've got the most horrible nails in the world or whatever, but this guy had the most nicest nails, and he was like quite slight in build. Now, you can't always judge someone by their build. Like, in terms of like, you know, maneuverability in a physical fighting sense. But I'm not about that life, but I'm way more about that life than he will ever be, if you see what I'm saying. That's what these cats do. They never play fair. They never like say, all right, I'm about to spar you. Like, say you're about to fight someone, they're gonna poke you in your eye when you like turn around, or before you're looking, they'll punch you in your face. It's never like it's coming like straight on. It's always something off key. It's like he tried to like dominate or something. But if we were both like, let's have an arm wrestle or let's have a squeeze off, he wouldn't be winning. If we had like a one-on-one fight, or me and him were going at it, he wouldn't win. Never, never. And we always have to try and walk away from these things. Obviously, if it's not done in the right way, anything can happen. It's not really worth it. There's nothing to prove. So there's no figured it. But just the slyness of this kind of like devil, like squeezing my hand, like, and then with a smile, like squeezing my hand like that, and I could have just grabbed him down and just twisted his arm off and chopped him on his neck. But I controlled it. So yeah, they do stuff like that. You see, they're backstabbers. You know, they're people that you're walking and they'll be right in the back of you. They'll be so close to you, so you turn back and they're right there, like they're just like making a joke, or they're trying to take you off your stride. They just read that they all just really want supply. Supply can be negative too. So even if you respond in a negative way, in a physical way, that feeds them. So these folk, like, that's one of the things they do, bait and switch. I mean, look, a longer way of them doing it is usually when you're in a relationship with them and you have the love bombing and the idolization phase. So that phase is where they all mirroring us. They're pretending to like what we like. They are basically, you think they're your soulmate, your twin flame, like you've met the one. Do you know what I mean? Like you've met the your love of your life, because it's like, oh, usually I actually heard this somewhere else, but this happened to me as well. You usually make a mistake in the idolization phase as well. So before they get into devaluing you, which is a part of the narcissistic abusive cycle, you will make a mistake and they will forgive you. And that will go into the kind of like, will be a part of the trickery, like the part of the spell. And you think, oh my God, this person actually likes me for me. You know what I mean? Like they see the real me. They're not here just because of my status, because of what I can do, because I'm good at this or I'm good at that. They actually like the real me, but it's all a lie. So yeah, watch out for the bait and switch. I was actually reading somewhere about people who, they have babies with these people. They have like, you know, like, so you're locked in for 18 years. They get married to these people. So they're in for the long haul, man. Then they marry you. And then once that rings on that finger, they just switch up. They just change, like they've got you. So they start pulling out all the maneuvers, man. They start playing the games. They start cheating on you and doing all those stuff. So yeah, man, it's like raw. But I was also watching something recently, and it was talking about, I think I might have said it in another video, about the expander teacher or student, I think, or something. So in our journey, we have to go through these dynamics. So the one is where if your parent, it's like when you're a parent, you come through your parent. Sometimes your parent could be one of these folk. And because of that, it's kind of teaching us to not become it, to be kind of the opposite, but to work on certain things in us. And also we can take from them. So you can actually learn certain points from these narcs. Yeah. So we can actually strengthen our boundaries. We can actually um, be more, have stronger egos, be more bashful, be, take things that we need rather than asking for it. So there are some things there that you can actually learn and take from, and also spotting them. You can spot them, but sometimes those they they don't force us to wake up, but they can do. Those opposites can actually work in our favor. And before we come here, it's a part of, sometimes it can be a part of the cycle, part of the healing journey, is to sometimes, I'm not going to say you have to do it this way, but sometimes you can join with them, and then through that issue, through this horrible cycle they put us through, that's what happened to me. You can kind of go supernova, or after it finishes, after the discard, you can kind of wake up to some of your wounds that you probably didn't know you had, subconscious things, and some of your childhood traumas from your parents. So, and sometimes it can be passed down generationally, and then you now going to be the generation curse breaker. So yeah, so you could actually come through your parents, learn from your parents, or don't learn from your parents and then meet people in the real world. Keep going through these dynamics until you actually go, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is my part that I'm playing. So that can happen. But you can wake up without them, and also you can go through life and never wake up but never meet them, if that makes sense. When I say them, I mean like meet one of these folk. But I do sometimes think, if you want to transcend as well, like to have an awakening, to transcend, to go 5D, to go into this kind of like higher consciousness, you would have to go through something and heal from that thing. And then once you've healed that thing, you've healed your own wounds, your own issues, your own trauma, it doesn't upset you anymore. So that means if somebody squeezes my hand next week, it won't even affect me, like, or somebody tries to trigger me by doing something that you just don't take it personally. It's them, it's their stuff. It's never really us. We can be a mirror. We show the mirror up to someone, or they could learn from us as well. So they learn how to love, they learn how to be empathetic, but a lot of them can't because they're sealed. Their conscience has been sealed shut, so they're not able to look within. So that's the issue with them, because they've got so many problems in the spiritual, they can't see. So a lot of them don't heal. They've been sealed. But you can get empaths as well who don't heal because they never wake up. They just become kind of like people pleasing, toe rag. I don't want to say that, but sometimes, as in just letting people get away with stuff in relationships with people, and walking on eggshells, and just live a life where it's literally subservient to someone else. Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, really. I mean, I need to try maybe have my take on kind of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Also recently Tyrese, the singer, R&B singer, with his ex-wife. The same dynamics have been played out there, where you have spiritually broken person who would be Amber Heard or Jada Pinkett Smith, who are like the narcissistic or bipolar, or they suffer from some kind of cluster B personality disorder. And then you got like Johnny Depp or Will Smith, who are on the side of the caregiver, empathetic, empathetic kind of light, basically. And they've got into these dynamics, so they need to heal their side, and they need to heal their side. And when they've have this covenant or connection with each other, they could heal, or this can have an awakening and say, oh, I'm acting ravenous, animal, dog, egotistical, low chakra. I've met this light. Can that open my heart to love people and to be more empathetic and help other people? And this side, can I become more independent, less codependent, less looking for validation from outside, give myself the love that my parents never gave me, be my own mother and papa bear, be seen by yourself, be able to be alone, love yourself, not care about what the other side is saying, know that they're broken, self-reflect with yourself, all these things. So it's those dynamics. So we could actually make a video about stuff like that. Meghan Markle as well with Prince Harry. Meghan Markle's on the dark side, Prince Harry's on the light side, and they've got into one of these dynamics where it's like with her it's all ego. Oh, look at me, I'm so famous, I'm so amazing, but really they're shallow, kind of chameleon, empty, nothing really there, just sucking energy and light from this source. You know, Prince Harry being the empathetic, you know, light. So they've also got into that dynamic as well. So he has to come out of that and think, oh, actually, I need to have more better boundaries. I've got to be self-validate. I need to have radical acceptance. This person's not for me. They're one way. I can't help them. They're going to be that whatever they are. You know, I need to take myself out of the situation and go no contact and grow and learn and heal. You see, so it's quite interesting. So I may have to make videos about those dynamics, because it's like, in a weird way, it's good that these things are happening publicly, because we can see it being played out in the media and we can kind of have our own takes on it. But yeah, so that was more or less the video. Keep going on your journey, and yeah, no matter what, Jesus is King. I'll see you on the next one.